Good morning, Heart Elementary. Miss Davis, happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. All right, today I am going to be talking about the census. I know you've probably been hearing a lot about that. April 1st, which was last week, it was last Wednesday, was actually Census Day. That does not mean that was the last day for you to complete your census. It just means April 1st is the date that they use when they decide how many people live in a place. Okay, so actually it might work out better that you waited until after April 1st if you haven't already done your census. Okay, so we're going to talk about why the census is important, what information they're going to be asking you, and how you fill it out. Okay, so filling out the census every 10 years is something really important, and it's actually a civic duty. Remember, we talked about duties versus responsibilities versus rights. Okay, so as a citizen, you have certain rights that are things you get to do, and you have duties, which are things that you should do, okay, because they help your community as a whole. Now, the census is just a count of how many people live in a place, what their ethnicity is, and that's it. That's all the questions you have to fill out on the census. The census is very, very important, though, because based on the numbers that we get from the census, the government decides how they're going to distribute funds for schools, hospitals, fire departments, new neighborhoods, new streetlights, all of that stuff, okay? So it's one of the things, like they have a budget. We've all done budgets, okay? So they have a certain amount of money they can spend, and when they're filling out their budgets, they need to decide how much they send to this place and how much they send to this place and how much they send to that place. One of those ways that they figure that out is by looking at the census data. Okay, so if you don't fill out the census and they think less people live in a place than actually do, then they're going to send less money than that place needs. Okay, so we want to make sure we all get counted. Another way that they use that census data is they decide how many representatives your area gets. Okay, so when we were talking about Texas and voting and all of those things, I broke up Texas into little districts. Okay, remember I drew all these little districts and said these are how Texas is broken up. Each one of those gets a representative in Congress. Okay, remember the House of Representatives is based on population. So every 10 years, we fill out our census and we say, this is how many people live here. They use that to go back in and then move some of those districts around to better reflect the population. So if we have more people in Texas than we did a while ago, and like more people in relation to other states, then we could get more legislators. And if we have less, then we might get some less, or they might combine a district, or they might split a district up depending on how many people live there. Okay, so it's very important that we get counted because we want to make sure that we have enough representatives to represent all of the people in the United States. Okay, so we want to make sure that that's an accurate count. Specifically because, and this is where we're going to get to the second part, what does the census ask you? I've already filled out my census. Okay, so I can tell you what the census asks you. It asks you where you're living on April 1st. Okay, so where you were living last Wednesday. If you rent or own or, just lease your home. Okay, and then who owns or is in charge of the home and how many people live there and what their ethnicities are. Okay, so it's really simple. It's just 5 questions. You just say, this was my address. Did we rent or own the home? How many people live there and which one of them, rents or owns the home? And then what's all of our ethnicities? Okay, so it's very important because then we know what the makeup of the United States is. Okay, so we want to know how many people the United States has that have this need because, maybe they're Hispanic. And so we need to make sure that, more of our leaders are multilingual. Or maybe, this higher population is African American. Or maybe this population is mostly, like French or German or Canadian or Indian or Chinese or Pacific Islander or whatever it is. We need to know what the United States looks like so that we can better be, govern them. Okay, we don't want to just see the United States as just one people, and we don't want people to not get what they need because they're not being counted. Okay, so it's very important, especially for minorities, that they fill out the census so that we have an accurate representation of exactly how many people we have in the United States and what we all, where we're all from, what we all look like, what we all need, how we interact with each other. It kind of gives us that basic idea. All right, and that's how they can also send out services. Okay, so remember, they look at those numbers and they say this group of people is going to need these services based on, their population makeup. And these people are going to need these services, and these people are going to need this number of schools and this number of hospitals. Okay, it's very important that we all get counted. So you can fill out the census on 2020census.gov. Or you can use, they would have sent your household a big white envelope that has a lot of papers in it. You can either fill that out and send it in through the mail, or by using the blue piece of paper they sent you with the 12-digit code on the front. Okay, so it's going to be 12 digits. It's going to be letters and numbers mixed together. And you'll type that in at 2020census.gov, and you can fill out your census. It takes like 5 minutes. I've already done it. It's super easy. It's super simple. If you need any assistance, though, don't hesitate to reach out. But remember, this is one of our civic duties. Just like voting, it's very important that all of our voices get heard because that's how democracy works. All right? Everybody's voice gets heard. Okay, so that was very important, and that's something I wanted to talk about because the census is going on right now. We want to make sure everybody gets voted and everybody gets counted. All right, now, my little news for the day. Okay, I don't have too much. Supermoon. There's going to be a supermoon on April 8th. What up, supermoons? A supermoon is when, because of the rotation of the Earth and the rotation of the moon around the Earth, every once in a while, the moon is a little bit closer to the Earth than normal. Okay, and when it's a little bit closer to the Earth than normal, when I say a little bit, I mean 20,000 miles closer right now than it usually is. So that's a lot, but it's a big deal. So it's going to look bigger, it's going to look brighter, and it's going to be awesome. This one is called the pink moon, not because it looks pink, but because it comes in April when there's spring and flowers and cherry blossoms, so they call it the pink moon. All right, so it's not going to be pink. It's going to look like a regular moon, but it is going to be closer and brighter. So on April 8th, which is, today is the 6th, so that's Wednesday evening, go ahead and, step out and see if you can see the supermoon. It should be rising around 7:30 or so because full moons will rise as the sun sets. So as the sun sets, the moon will be rising, and then you get to see how big and bright it is. Okay, so you can see it before your bedtime. So tell your parents, just go outside in the backyard and look at the moon. Okay, and since it is a supermoon, you'll be able to see some of the things on it, like craters and pockmarks and all sorts of fun stuff without a big telescope, maybe just a pair of binoculars, or even just looking at it with your own eyes, will be awesome. So check it out. Okay, today is also Assistant Principals Day, so we are supporting our assistant principals. So please give a big old shout out to Mrs. Washington. Right now she is doing the most for you. She loves you and she supports you, and she is going up to the school and printing and preparing and doing all sorts of great stuff for you guys. So make sure you reach out to her and say, hey, we appreciate you, we love you, we are proud of you. All right. Speaking of lunch pickups, today is Monday, and remember Monday and Thursday from 11 to 12:30, you can go by the school and get lunches and packets. Okay, so they're going to be passing those out today from 11 to 12:30, and then they will be passing them out Thursday, also from 11 to 12:30. Okay, one other thing I wanted to talk about. It's a bird. Okay. Mask orders are going into place in a lot of other states. So some other states and some cities, even some cities in Texas right now, have put into place that you will not be allowed to go outside in public without some kind of face mask on. Okay? The reasoning behind that is, remember I talked about how little viruses, and this is a respiratory disease, so it gets in your lungs. So when you cough, if you have it, you can spread it through that. So the idea of the face mask is it stops all of your cough from going everywhere, okay? So you wear a face mask so that you can protect other people, okay? Because anything that goes out can actually stay, and I heard this from a doctor, so it's updating. So remember I said that they can stay on hard surfaces for 11 hours? It turns out that now they think that they can stay on hard surfaces for 72 hours. Okay, so that's like a long time. Okay, so that's 4 days. Okay, so we want to make sure that we wear a face mask if we go out in public, not because we think that you're sick or because you could get sick from somebody else. It's more that if you are sick and you don't know it, or if you just have germs, let's be real, guys, everybody's got a little bit of germs inside them. Everybody lives with a little bit of bacteria and germs inside them. Most of them are good and they help us eat. Some of them are bad and not good for other people. So we need to wear a face mask. I will be posting some links because the CDC has posted tutorials about making face masks either through folding. If you don't know how to sew or you don't have a sewing machine, they have listed links on how you can use bits of fabric that you have around the house, like pillowcases or scarves or bandanas, and fold them with some filters, like coffee filters in the middle, using, hair ties or something, and cover your mask, cover your face. All right. Some of the best fabrics to use for this are high count. Okay, so like, when you're buying sheets or you're buying pillowcases, you look at them and it says, like 500 count or 1,000 count or 600 count. Okay, so anything above 600 count is going to be better because all of the fibers are tighter together, so there's less empty space for things to get in, there's less empty space for things to get out. Okay, so 600 plus is the best, and then you can make yourself a face mask, and that means you won't cough or sneeze on anybody, and we can help make sure that if we go out in public, everybody's safe. Okay, so it's getting a little long, so real quick, I'm going to talk about today. The activity that I want you guys to do is I will be including a link to a little journalism quiz. Okay, I want you guys to take that, and then when you go to score your quiz, I want you to either send me a picture of the score you get or screenshot it and just message it to me. I will put up a portfolio activity for the day, so you can do that. And you can do it through your portfolio, okay? Or you can message me. Portfolio is easier to keep track of because I can see all the students, but if you just message me because you can't get into your portfolio, that's fine, okay? So it's a quick little journalism article just because I want to know how we are, because what we're going to start doing starting this week is the way we're going to be doing activities and grades and keeping up with stuff is I am going to be having you guys we're going to learn how to do a news report, a news article. Okay, so we're going to learn about journalism, and you guys are actually going to read some news, and you're going to start writing me journalistic articles or reviewing news articles and saying what you thought they did right, what you thought they did wrong, or writing a whole new report for me. Okay, so first we have to learn what journalism is, how we do it, and what it is when it looks good and what it is when it looks bad. Okay, so you're going to do a quick little journalism quiz. It's like 10 questions. It's really easy, and it's going to be online. Okay, I'm going to send you the link, and then you can go from there. It's going to be on Scholastic's website, And there are actually a lot of really good resources on there for news or journalism or at-home activities. So if you want to go exploring, I'm not going to stop you. It would be great. But all you need to do right now is take that quiz in the link that I will send you, take a screenshot or take a picture of it if you're doing it on a computer or a tablet, and can't screenshot, and then send it to me. Okay? That's it for today. No question, because all I need you to do is do that journalistic quiz, and that's going to be how I check you today. All right. Have a great Monday, actually. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.